Hi, kindergarten scholars. It's Miss Want. I'm here to do a read aloud with you today. And today, and all this week, we've been talking about the mood meter. We've learned a couple things. We've learned that if we go up and down, we go higher and lower in energy. We learned that if we go on this axis, we go from unpleasant or uncomfortable to pleasant or comfortable feelings. And yesterday, we talked about the blue feelings, the blue color. Today, we're going to talk about high energy and unpleasant. So we're going to talk about this red quadrant. It is high energy and it's unpleasant feelings. There are many words that are high energy and unpleasant, many feelings that fall in that category. Today we're going to talk about one of those feelings. That feeling is angry or mad. Before we get started on this book, I want you to think about a time that you felt angry or mad. When you know that time, you could tell someone close to you, if there's someone close to you, or you could whisper to your hand a time that you felt angry or mad. Remember, you always have the option to pause the video and continue your thought or finish up your thinking if you didn't get enough time, and then you'll always be able to play again and keep going. In this book, the character also feels angry. So when you thought about that time you felt angry, that's going to help you better understand this character in this book. Before we get started, we're going to notice and wonder. Remember, when we look at the cover, notice means that we're going to talk about the things we see. It might sound like this. I notice that I can only see this person's head. I notice that their mouth is really thin. Go ahead. Take a second and say two things that you notice from the cover. You always have the option to pause and continue if you didn't get enough time. Before we start, we're also going to wonder. That means we're going to think about the things we don't know yet about this book and the things we want to know. That might sound like this. I wonder how this character is feeling. I wonder where this character is. Go ahead, take a second. You can tell something that you wonder, something you want to know. Great, thank you for doing that. The good reader skill we're going to practice today is thinking about the problem and the solution. So while we read, I want you to think about, what is the problem in the story? What happens that's a problem? And then we're going to think about how the characters solve the problem, what they do to make the problem better. This is called When Sophie Gets Angry, Really, Really Angry by Molly Bang. Sophie was busy playing when her sister grabbed Gorilla. No, said Sophie. Yes, said her mother. It is her turn now, Sophie. As her sister snatched Gorilla away, Sophie fell over the truck. Oh, is Sophie ever angry now? She kicks, she screams, she wants to smash the world to smithereens. She roars a red, red roar. Sophie is a volcano ready to explode. And when Sophie gets angry, really, really angry, she runs. Then, for a little while, she cries. I'm wondering right now where Sophie is on the mood meter. I'm wondering how her energy is and how her pleasantness is. Now she sees the rocks and the trees and the ferns. She hears a bird. She comes to the old beech tree. She climbs. She feels the breeze blow her hair. She watches the water and the waves. The wide world comforts her. Sophie feels better now. She climbs back down. And heads for home. The house is warm and smells good. Everyone is glad she's home. Everything's back together again. And Sophie isn't angry anymore. Remember before we started, I said our good reader skill was to think about the problem and the solution. So those are your 2 questions today. What was the problem in the story? What made the characters feel unpleasant? And what was the solution? What helped the characters feel better? What did they do? What did they see? What did they hear? What helped them to feel better? So that answer might sound like the problem in the story was, and the way the characters solved the problem was, so we know the problem and the solution. In your response, you can use the microphone tool to audio record yourself telling us what you think the problem was from this story and what you know that the characters did to solve the problem to feel better. We can't wait to hear what you think.